Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be reviewing the LEGO Technic set number 42139 all-terrain vehicle. So starting off, I'm going to take a look at this ATV and take a look at how aesthetically pleasing it looks. And to start things off, here we do get a good look at the front. The front looks really nice and well put together. I do like the angles that are achieved with the sort of front bumper sort of section with the headlights and stuff. Very nice. Unfortunately, you do have a few blue pin things here, especially behind the headlights, which could have been swapped out for gray ones. But overall, it's not really a deal breaker. Still looks pretty good, and we do have the hook for the windshield, which I will bring up again later. Up here we do have this sort of system hood piece, filling in this sort of built bar section around here. That's put together really nicely. The fenders look good. They look nice. They look solid. The fenders are mostly made up of white parts, but they do have a bunch of stickers here to help blend the fenders in with the rest of the color scheme. I got a few stickers here. I put most of the stickers on good enough, I think. I think the only one that is not as well placed as I would want it to be is probably this one. So a little bit too far this way. Has a little bit too much exposed here, and this is slightly likes to come off on this end. Maybe I'll try to replace that, but overall the stickers, they don't they don't take away from the overall look. They do their job nicely, and they do add extra details I do like on this sticker. I like how there's the fuel cap little detail here. That's really cool. And there's some random little branding, sponsorship sort of labels and stuff, like TAC or the Motor, or something going on there. There's some interesting stuff with the stickers. Which I ended up putting on for the video, but they don't look too bad here. The handlebar looks nice. I do like how that's put together. The wheels, of course, have this nice texturing around the tread, which does make it look that much more pleasing, and looks more makes it look more off-road ready sort of tires. Over here at this section, you do have the seat sort of section, which I feel is put together really nicely. I do like how the orange Technic panels fit basically fit well with how lines up well with how the seat is seated. Very cool. And there's other things here that I'll mention a little bit later. But turning around, this side is a bit different from the other side. There's some other stuff going on. Overall, it works fine. It looks okay, but it does look most pleasing up here where the actual seat is. Moving towards the back of the vehicle, you do have this sort of dumper thing right here, which I'll mention later. We do have other accessories here, which I'll also get into. But there's a look at the bed of this little dumper thing. It's nice. There's also other little extra details and stuff on the sides here, and as well as this sort of back sort of tailgate section here with this larger sticker, adding some other extra things. and then we also get like some like tail lights and some like interesting shaping back here. Not looking too bad. And then we get a good look at the vehicle from the side, which yeah, it doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing, especially not from like doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing from this angle, especially like this section here, like between the fender and tire thing on this front section. But it looks all right. It looks all right. Like aesthetic, but overall aesthetically looks pretty good. Like looks really nice. Has a really cool color scheme. The color scheme blends well. And yeah, like it looks really good. Now we can get on to the functions, which there are quite a lot of functions in this thing. It's a Technic set that like is absolutely loaded with little like gimmicks and stuff. Now, obviously, it does roll. You would like you would expect a vehicle like this to roll. Rolls real nicely. There is that. But we also have like this handlebar thing which we can turn, and it does steer the vehicle. So that's like the first like really cool thing about it. It turns. It doesn't have a like the turning radius isn't the best, but it's also like completely usable. It's not like it's not like useless like it's not like a useless like turning radius. You can still turn it around and it still works. It's still pretty effective. And other things about the like internal like stuff about the chassis and stuff like that, it does use the suspension pieces. It does have 6 of these like suspension things, one for each tire, but it's not it doesn't work independently. For you see, taking a look at it up here, like despite it like each like spring being on each side, it doesn't articulate it like independently. It more so like springs it more so just like hinges back and forth on like this axis, and it's like that for the other two uh, sets of wheels as well. You can you can especially see it from the back, but it's still but it's suspension that still works. It still works pretty good. It's still effective. It still feels really nice. It's good. It's solid. Moving over to the back here, which means we are going to have to dump this stuff out again. And we're taking a look at the underside. Yeah, taking a look at the underside, you do see some of the internal workings on how it steers, but you also get to see that each of sets of the that each of the sets of wheels on the back end each have a differential gearing system, which is really good, which is really nice, very much appreciated. Which and that is like really nice, and it works really well. Like yeah, it works really nice. It's really effective. It works. Yeah, like that's really cool. So you can see how that whole mechanism thing works. Really, that's really nice and appreciated. And you do even get a little bit of inner workings for the gearbox, which is I guess the next thing that I'll bring up, because yes, like on top of the differential gears and the suspension, it also has a gearbox. So down here, represented by a sticker, it is currently in neutral, but there's also a first and second gear. So switching that to first gear, it like activates like the little like gimmicky thing in the engine, which is pretty cool. That's really nice. And then switching, so yeah, so the engine will work as you're rolling it around, and then moving it to second gear will make it move even faster. We'll make that, will make the engine like the engine cylinders move even faster. There's two of them built in the engine, one for each side, so they do both work for each side. So there you have a look at that. Yeah, really good, really good. Let's turn it back to neutral so we can take a look at the other gimmicks and stuff for this. Now, on now like this and like a few of the other like sort of like Technic gimmicks into this set are not only like pretty obvious to see with like the red like Technic parts and stuff, but they're pretty like noticeable. It's not like hard to notice, but in the off chance that yeah like like on top of having these like not even like on top of having these like Technic like levers and knobs and stuff like in more obvious colors, they also integrated uh little like diagrams of the Technic functions and demonstrations, and so like little like pointer things, little like pointer details about these functions in the actual details of the stickers, which I don't really mind, to be honest. Like to be honest, I'm okay with to be honest, I'm okay with this. It is a bit obvious, but yeah, it is a bit obvious, but like it doesn't really these little like demonstration sort of things don't really get in the way of this, and these details are reminiscent of like little like pointer things and little warning labels and stuff that are usually in actual like equipment and stuff like this. So it's accurate, and it's also like it doesn't really get in the way. So it works. I feel like it works. But getting into that, pushing this down. So pushing this down will release the ratcheting joint here, and then we can release the release the that and like pull that out, but with it uh holding, but not pressing it and having a hold and having the ratchet thing back in place. You don't pull it out. Ratcheting, moving, basically winding the winch back in. By doing that, you take this knob here and turn it back, and you can hear that ratcheting joint, not ratcheting like system, doing its thing, and it's doing its thing. It's slowly yet surely winching the thing back, and it's pretty strong. I can like pull the ATV by just the string, and it will like and the ratchet joint will and the ratchet like will system will not let it go unless you get too ridiculous with it and like break the string or snap the string or something. But yeah, it definitely holds, and you can wind it back and you can release it. That's real cool. Something else it has this little like dumping like gimmick. So you have this little lever back here, which you can pull down and have that release. Now, releasing like having this dumped out, it does make this look less aesthetically pleasing. But I am glad that they didn't really put stickers here, in the risk that these pieces might scratch them over time. But it does hold when you turn it down. You can It's easy to flip it back up. And when you load in some of the included stuff in here, the little tailgate section is on a hinge, so it can open, and you can like have that open, and you can dump that out. You can dump out the contents. Now, speaking of the contents, let's take a look at that real quick. So it includes a bunch of these textured cylinder bricks. It comes with a bunch of these, so you can have like sort of log things. So you have these sort of logs. So you can like carry these around. So you can carry. So you can have something big. So you can have something for your ATV vehicle to carry around. Not only that, there's this. There's a sort of nice little like Technic chainsaw like side build, which is really cool. I do like it. The stickers added do add a nice do add an okay do add like an okay amount, an adequate amount of detail. And there's like something here to simulate a sort of handle guard thing. I think it works. It's simple, but I think it works. It is slightly gappy, like especially looking at it from this angle, but overall, I feel like it works. Yeah, really cool. So, like taking a look at all of that, yeah, it is loaded with a good amount of like Technic gimmicks and stuff that do work with the vehicle. And overall they work really nice. Stickers are The stickers add a little like pointers, and not only that, they're not too obvious with it. Honestly, the worst thing is probably the fact that they still add these little details to the stickers and still made these parts obvious in red. Like this one ain't as obvious because the red piece is like tucked in there somewhat, but these other ones, they could be just swapped out for other pieces if you want, for other colored pieces for this. And yeah, like that is pretty much this vehicle, like fully reviewed and stuff. Overall, I do like it. It's really nice. I do feel like it. I do feel like it works. It works. It fits together. It looks aesthetically pleasing. Loaded with fun little gimmicks. And it even includes like a fun little like side build with this little chainsaw thing. That's really cool. Now the set did retail for $80. I did manage to get mine for $70. But I honestly think, like looking at it in the aftermarkets and stuff, like you it's usually going, like, from what I've seen, it's usually going on the aftermarket. It's usually going on for an average of like around $90 to $100, which it is a bit steep. But I think the $90 is like justified for this. Not only with uh the amount of pieces and stuff it has, so extra things. It also has a few these like more desirable like suspension pieces and like engine pieces, gearbox and differentials. There's a lot of parts here that are really good for like Technic based mocks. And it does, and I feel like the $90 price point. If you can get it for $90, I'd say go ahead. I say go ahead. Overall, I do recommend. Overall, I do recommend this ATV to your to those Technic fans who like the all the like engineering fascinations about the all the nice little like inner workings and stuff. Really nice. Do recommend it for all the like gimmicks and stuff alone. But with my time like putting this together and playing around with it, I do notice that there's something missing. Now, notice the overall size of the vehicle. I do notice something missing. You know what that could be? You know, it, it's it's kind of like weird. Like it's like this big vehicle with it's like this nice sized vehicle, and it even comes with like an accessory for a driver. Yeah, that's the thing I think this set is missing. The, uh, like I might be the only one who thinks this, but this set is really missing a rider or driver of some kind. Like, don't you think so? Like, it has like the handlebars. There's like, not, like there's obviously a perfect place for the driver to sit, and there's even a nice little accessory for a potential driver. But Lego has never made a driver for this set, or have they? Now, notice the overall size of the vehicle, and notice the overall color scheme of the vehicle. You know who I can see driving this? You know who I can see? You know who I think of when I see this vehicle? I think of Next. This is a next. This ain't quite the next that you saw from my previous bootleg next like unboxing sort of video. This is a mix of that bootleg next and the stand-in one that I also showed off in that video. This is sort of me putting the parts for those two together to make this my sort of like more ideal take on this character, more ideal look for this character. Well, but yeah, like here we have next his color scheme overall real fits this vehicle perfectly. It does work. I feel like it works really well. Now, and yeah, like now for what I'm doing, I'm gonna go ahead and like basically have him riding in this thing, so I can show you the overall look of what next would look like riding or driving this vehicle. And yeah, the feet just slide in perfectly. He sits on the seat. It works, and even the parts where I didn't think it would work without modifications, like I didn't think that the handlebars would be able to fit the hands without me removing these bar pieces on the front. But no, you slide it on and it fits perfectly. Now let me just go ahead and take the blaster off of one hand, and let me put the other hand on, and boom, we have Nex driving around in. We have Nex like riding the ATV. that is that fits so perfectly. Like that works. Like this works. Like this is absolutely crazy that I have not seen anyone else do something like this, especially with how many Technic vehicles we've had over the years, and none of them have had like their own anyone to be able to drive or ride them. This fits really good, and even the chainsaw. Just let me take next back off of the vehicle. Accidentally took out his foot, but no big deal. So moving this back so we can take a look at the accessory here. Even the chainsaw looks like he could like easily just hold it. But unfortunately there's no obvious place where you can hold it with these hands. But modifying this with like a few pieces is not like modifying this so you can hold it with this so that this character can hold it is honestly not that hard. And one way that I've done this is I've taken these pieces. No, it's just some common pieces. Ones that, ones, like, yeah, ones that are very likely, but ones that, for those who collect a lot of LEGO Technic stuff, you very likely have these kind of pieces already on hand. So you take, like, these pieces, assemble them like this, and also have these two pieces. Take your chainsaw piece, your chainsaw cycle, remove this piece, remove this piece, slide these two off, set these two pieces off to the side, replace them with two of these pieces, just slide those in where those other black pieces were. Take this section, attach this blue pin into this pinhole, like so, and then finish it off by reattaching this piece where it was. And boom, there you have the chainsaw, not only filled in a bit more from the back and top, but also able to fit, also able to be held by a Hero Factory or Bionicle character if you so choose. That works, and while I can't really have this character hold, and while it's built like this, I can't really have him hold the chainsaw more accurately, like with the hand holding the handlebar like this. I can slide this down and still have him hold the chainsaw with two hands. It's a little bit less accurate, but I think it still works. I'm pretty sure there are other ways to make that connection more accurate, more realistic, and yet, but that's not really the point with what I'm trying to do. This, to me, feels like a Hero Factory set. And yeah, like for those who really miss the old Hero Factory stuff, here's a set that fully works with one of the Hero Factory characters, and it worked pretty much flawlessly. Works really well. And I'm honestly really impressed, and from the first moment I looked at this, I knew that this set would fit next really well. But with that, I think that'll be it with this video. If you've seen any, let me know in the comments if you've seen any other Technic sets that could fit any Hero Factory or Bionicle character with little with with uh with little to no modification. Let me know if there's any Bionicle or Hero Factory characters that could fit in any of these. Like, let me know if there's any Technic sets that could fit a Hero Factory or Bionicle character in the comments. Because I really like to see like what else I could like fit a Hero Factory character in Technic wise. But yeah, with that, I think that'll be it for this review slash sort of like modification video. If you enjoyed this video, consider to like and subscribe and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.